Happy Monday. She can still say that because it's Monday evening as I record this. I know, guys. I'm just a comedy of errors. Me last week being like, I am never saving recording for a Sunday ever again. Well, I didn't. I saved it for the day of. I'm giving cramming study last minute for an exam, which I have to say, I was never that person at school. Like I was the girl who was studying. We're on a tangent here already. Let's do it. I I was so committed to my studies. Are we surprised? We know my natal chart. I would write and rewrite my notes. I took them out to the netball courts on a Saturday. I would be at the netball courts from like 7 a.m. on a Saturday till 4 p.m. because I played, I umpired, I coached. I was a netball girly for like 15 years. And I would take my study notes out to the courts and revise them between games. I slept on my notes. How's this for a telepathically aware girly? I didn't know why. I don't know why, still to this day, why I thought to do this. But any exam the night before an exam, I was sitting the next day, all through high school, I would sleep on my notes. I'm not kidding. I've never even told anyone that. I mean, my family knew I did that, but I just did it. She was a witch and she didn't even know. Like, I literally would get my notes for the exam, put them under my pillow, sleep, absorb by osmosis. And I tell you what, I really genuinely feel that that was like a study hack for sure. Why am I talking about studying? Oh, because I've dropped the ball. I've gone the opposite. I'll tell you what, when I got the autism diagnosis, like it's given me a lot of permission to be more myself, which is exactly why I did it. I wanted to be more compassionate with myself. I wanted to give myself more permission to just be me. And part of that truly has been these rules, becoming so aware of all of these self imposed rules I have placed upon myself. And just, I am the kind of person that I have to go, I'm like a pendulum. I have to swing too far the other way to come back to this middle ground. And I genuinely do feel that's what's happening here is like I'm testing my own boundaries and capacity and also figuring out what rhythm works for me. And I genuinely thought that if I just claimed it last week, it would be so. And then I forgot that I had my best friend in the world staying with me over the weekend and they left yesterday. And then I had actually had the nicest weekend I've had in such a long time. So here I am. That's the story. But before we get into today's episode, which is going to be around energetic protection, psychic protection, practices to protect yourselves, your kids, your family, your energy, your essence in these hectic times. I got to say, energetically, oh my God, I went out today and I literally felt like I was having a blood sugar low in the grocery store. And I was like, this is all energetic because I don't know if you guys have been feeling it too, but there's just a lot of cosmic noise and collective uncertainty, and it creates this contagion effect where energy is contagious. It's called contagion. And for energetically sensitive beings like you and like me, we pick up on it, and it can be very, very challenging to be in a human body, like just trying to do our best to move all this energy through. But before we go into that, I just wanted to reflect on the weekend that's been because it was, if I was going to describe to someone like, what's your perfect Sunday? I'm pretty sure I had it yesterday, right? So we did have Leah come and stay. And yeah, if you've listened to the podcast, you know, if you even read my first book, Leah is my oldest, longest best friend. And she's the one whose little girl Harper passed away last year. So I only did see her at Harper's 1 year of her passing and her birthday, actually, maybe 3 weeks ago. And then Leah is so amazing in that every maybe year, 18 months, she brings her son up and stays with us. She's been doing this since we moved up, coming up to 5 years ago. And so that trip was planned months and months ago. And this is the first time that my little girl and her little boy were able to play really independently without us, because the last time she was here with her little boy, my little girl had just turned 3, and so you kind of still have to be involved in the playtime, if you know what I mean. Whereas this time around, they're turning 5 this year. They're going to school next year. And it was just so beautiful to watch them, independent of us, play so beautifully together. It's always such a relief when your children play really well with your friends' children. It's like, oh my gosh, thank God. But they were playing games that Leah and I used to play. Like they were playing mums and dads. They were playing Barbies. And it was just this beautiful, it really does make me teary. Like that was Leah and me. And now our kids are doing that. And that's the dream, right? When you grow up with a friend that you've had your whole life and you're like, and we're going to have kids together and they're going to grow up together. It's actually happening. And to see that and to witness that from Thursday was just, I can't put it into words. It's like these magic moments in life, like these magic, the simplest and smallest and most beautiful moments that actually mean more than any other achievement I've ever had in my life. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. It's so pure. It's so beautiful. It was so special. We didn't do a lot. We went to the farm with them. I still had my clients. We had, yummy dinners together. They painted, they just played. And this was mine and Leah's childhood. And, 30 plus years later, here we are having the same experience with our children. Oh, like that's what like that for me is like, mwah, that's what life is all about. So already had this really beautiful nostalgic sentimental weekend with them, and it's one of the, wow, why am I so emotional? I'm ovulating. I didn't know. Oh, it's just been the hardest thing for me in moving away from Sydney is that my little girl doesn't get to grow up with my best friend's babies. Yeah, I have a handful of really good friends. Um, that we left behind when we moved up here. Me and Trenny, we were such good friends in Sydney, and we all became parents at the same time. And that's the one thing that my heart breaks about is that just witnessing my little girl and Leah's little boy over the weekend together, knowing that if we lived in Sydney, we could have that more. That is hard. That's definitely a sacrifice we've had to make moving up here, and I wouldn't change it for the world. And we have a beautiful community of people up here, like some of our best friends up here. It's just there's like a handful of my people that are there, and to mother together in close proximity would change so much. My God, I didn't realize I was holding a lot of grief around that, but there you go. Anyway, it was a really beautiful weekend, as you can tell. And so I dropped them back to the airport yesterday morning. And then it's such a beautiful time of year up here, I've got to say. The Northern Rivers is stunning for so many reasons, energetic reasons, like just it's a reason it's a spiritual capital of this country. The land here is just incredible. Something that is really hard is how humid it is, hence the mold everywhere up here. I'm talking 90 plus humidity days most days. And I know I've got a lot of Australian listeners, so you're probably nodding along going, don't I know it? Emptying out the dehumidifier every day. And there's just been this turn over the last couple of days in the weather where it's getting cooler in the morning and in the afternoon, but it's still warm enough to swim in the middle of the day. That's my favorite. I'll tell you my favorite time on the Northern Rivers. You've got to come up in August. So when Trent and I lived in Sydney, anytime it was my birthday, which is, I don't even need to tell you guys because you all know it, right? You all know it's Lionsgate, 0808. Anyway, we would always come up here because it was the best time of the year up here. And it genuinely is. The closer we get to winter up here, the happier I am. I'm like, this is why we live up here. You just have these beautiful days, but it's still cool. I don't know. I'm obsessed. Anyway, the weather has turned. And so yesterday we had there's this beautiful coastal walk where we live. And so we took my little girl and did that walk. We watched all of the surfers. There were dolphins. We walked up like toward the headland. Then we walked into town. We got breakfast. I'm in my like matcha era. Only when I go out. I'm not making matchas at home. But over this weekend, I've had 2 raspberry/strawberry matchas. What a vibe. They're so great. Anyway, had one of those, had breakfast, went to the beach, had a swim. It was cool, but not icy. So like perfect temp to like have a quick dip. Went home, had a nap on the couch. My little girl watched The Little Mermaid while I napped next to her. And then I went and had 2 hours of body work with Asha. Like that was my day yesterday, guys. Dream day. Dream day. And then watching Survivor, which are you guys watching it? I feel like you guys know I am a Survivor super fan. I've watched it my entire life. I've gotten Brit involved now. Like she's had to catch up. And because I said to Brit, if you guys know Brit Wild, you know she should be on Survivor. She's one of the most strategic minded women I know. She's also an athlete, former athlete. I'm like, why aren't you on this show? And if you're not on it, why aren't you watching it? So she's caught up. Obviously, I made her watch Kirby's seasons. We love Kirby. We stand. We stand. And she is converted now. So I get to talk to Brit about Survivor. And so last night's episode, I'm frothing. I'm watching the time because I need to get off this podcast before the next episode is one of the best tribal councils I've ever seen. And that's saying something because Kirby isn't in this season. Neither's Dave. Neither's George from Bankstown. Like, anyway, if you're a Survivor fan, you get it. I don't know how many Survivor fans actually exist in the world. It is absolutely a special interest, and I'm not ashamed. I saw this meme doing the rounds. I think it was from the US Survivor, where it was like, oh yeah, they had their first, inverted commas, first autistic Survivor contestant. And it's a really beautiful clip, actually, where she's having an autistic meltdown and she'd confided in someone on the other tribe. You know, when she has these meltdowns, she actually just needs to be held very, very tightly. It's a stunning clip. I'm actually going to put it in the Soulies chat for you guys to watch if you haven't seen it, because it's really beautiful. But someone commented saying, this absolutely is not the first ever autistic Survivor contestant. Everything about Survivor is autism. And I have to agree. I have to agree. It's like social gameplay, masking, strategy, activities. Like it's giving Specky. Anyway, it's a beautiful clip. I'll put in the Soulies group. So that was my weekend. But I have had my own experiences over the last few weeks, touching on it in What's the Vibe last week, and then people close to me in my own life experiencing all of the same thing. And that is that we are energetically sensitive beings in an energetically sensitive time right now. There's a lot up in the air, there's a lot of unknowns, there's a lot of question marks, alongside the veil being very thin cosmically. I feel like that's probably something to do with this Pisces North Node being on the tail end of this North Node, really rinsing us out, and dense energy coming to light, which is great because we're becoming more aware of power play. And I'm not talking survivor strategy, guys, but it's kind of kismet. And for lack of a better term, like darker energies at play. And it's great that we're seeing it. And I do feel like and if you've been anywhere from 2020, you can see the pattern repetition, especially if you're on the spectrum. Like there's a lot of history repeating itself in the last few weeks. And when that emerges, what can happen is we can go into obviously a fear response, and our energy, especially if we are energetically sensitive or dare I say porous, we can pick up on that stuff and then it becomes kind of stuck in our bodies. And this can lead to feelings like anxiety, feeling more anxious than usual, and the physical components of anxiety, like a shallowness of breath, racing mind, paranoia, rushing, urgency, not even really knowing why you're rushing, but feeling like you're running out of time. It can also manifest as sleep interference. And I have seen this, and it's been me too, guys. I've never had sleep paralysis in my life until this year and until the past month. And I've had 2 occasions. One of them was over the weekend. Terrifying, like being slammed back into my bed and being held down by, it feels like dark energy, dark forces. And I know I'm not the only one. I know I've had lots of close, energetically sensitive people in my life who are also experiencing some form of sleep paralysis or sleep interference. And when I say sleep interference, it could just be like lighter sleep, vivid dreaming, which means you're not getting as deep a sleep as we need to restore, and especially if we're in heightened stress responses. Last night, I lay in bed. I was tired. I watched Survivor, went to bed, lay in bed, and I don't think I got to bed until I didn't check the time because I didn't want to be on my screen because sleep hygiene right now is paramount. I'll talk about that in a moment. But I reckon I got to bed between 1 and 2 a.m. That is not like in terms of got to sleep. I was in bed lying there, feeling wired but tired, buzzy energy in my cells. And I woke up this morning and first thing Trent said to me was like, I could not get to sleep last night until about 1 or 2 a.m. And I was like, same. And we were sleeping in different rooms because Trent snores. He's getting the sleep apnea test on Thursday, though. Pray for holes. It's about bloody time, let me tell you. But if you know, you know. So there's definite sleep interferences, and that happens because it's kind of like an energetic guard goes down. We're not busy, we're not overlooking. And so that is a form of interference and a form of energetic sensitivity. Then if our sleep gets impacted, obviously our stress levels are impacted, our cortisol rises. If we have higher cortisol, we're going to be more porous in our energetic bodies. Our nervous system is going to go down. And it's like this ripple effect. And as I'm speaking this out, I'm wondering if there is some sort of energetic power play happening where they're like, we'll get them when we sleep. And like, it's not demons or monsters, but it is heavy, dense energy. And their easiest entry point for us is when we sleep, when we're asleep and when we're stressed. So if we're having bad sleep and if we're stressed, then we are going to be more energetically sensitive to picking up on collective fear and anxiety. And that was me today when I went to the grocery store with my little girl and I was like, the lights are so bright. It was also me having an autistic experience. I had to wear my sunglasses inside. I couldn't catch my breath. I had to quickly have a couple of like lolly snakes because I felt my blood sugar levels dropping. And all of this can be, take it with a grain of salt. I am not a health practitioner. Get your levels checked, do your stuff, do your due diligence for your physical body. But the kind of underneath it all is when you know where your physical health is, where I know for me personally, I'm pretty solid physically, then you can start to determine where your energy is becoming sensitive and what it's picking up on. And I knew today when I like left my house, I'm like, I am picking up on some collective energy. And so I just wanted to reflect that back to all of you as well. It's so interesting, isn't it? Yesterday I had such a beautiful day because I was outside in the sun, in the ocean, walking barefoot on the beach with my family, doing very simple things, not on my phone. I just spent so much quality time with my best friend, watching our kids play. It was community. We were eating yummy food. We were in the home a lot. We went and saw the animals at the farm. Like, do you see that thread of like wholesome family, community, safety, feeling all of that? And yet I still got sleep interference because it couldn't get in during the day. Whereas today it was me in a public place, shopping center, picking up on the energy of like it's not a particular person, it's just that group energy, right? That feels dense right now. So I want to run through all of the ways that we can tend to our energetic body in the coming weeks and months while there is so much up in the air, while there is so much unknown. And I want to precursor this by saying it's not me saying don't be scared, don't feel fear, because fear is a part of being human. Like we are going to feel fear in uncertain times. And what we want to have a look at is how much of the fear is ours and true, and we're moving it through in ways that are just congruent with a solid nervous system. Basically, how are we building the strength of our nervous system to withstand the unknown and these voidy spaces, and not getting bogged down by density and paranoia, because the powers that be, whoever you want to claim them to be, thrive when we're in fear. They thrive when we're in panic. They thrive when we're in anxiety and paranoia. Our whole societal structure is built on people being more obedient and more, okay, we just need to do it this way and we need to behave because we're being ruled from this place of conditioning, and conditioning happens when we're in a fear response. I'm saying that like that's simple. It's not. And I've learned this over my own awakening over the since 2020. And I think if we were having this conversation back then, I actually wouldn't be having this conversation back then. And I didn't have this conversation back then because I was so afraid. But I'm not anymore. And I think part of that is me doing so much work on being unapologetically myself. It's absolutely my Aquarius North Node in the eighth house, talking about the taboo things, talking unapologetically about things that might be polarizing to people, not feeling afraid to stand out, to be seen as someone talking about these seemingly people might call me a conspiracy theorist. In 2020, that would have been the most terrifying thing in the world for me. Now I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. Sick, I am. That's okay. I'm okay with that. And I think if we cast our minds back to the episodes that I did last year on finding my shine and my light and all of the work I did in the lead up to like the cacao facilitation, going on tour with East Forest, and me being okay with taking up big space, me being okay with people seeing me and judging me. I do think a lot of that work has actually been pre-work for me now, where I can so solidly share what it is I believe and know that it's not going to be what everyone believes. And that's okay, because it's going to resonate for some of you and it doesn't have to resonate for all of you. So I do think that I've done a lot of pre-work to get to where I am today, where I can be so solid and unapologetic. And this is what I believe about the state of the world right now and what our role is. And I do think, especially if you're listening to a podcast called Soul Talk, and it's a spiritual podcast, and it's literally nestled in between all of these Christian podcasts that are calling our work in the world demonic. I actually feel like it's my responsibility to have these conversations on these platforms, because if I don't know, like, where else are we going to find these lessons and these teachings around solidly owning and taking up spiritual space and being unapologetic and almost like unwavering. And that doesn't mean we don't have fear, but it's this unwavering way of owning what our beliefs are. And if I look at the astrology that's coming, so much of this, like governments collapsing and power back to the people and, questioning motives of people in power. You guys know this. That's Aquarius North Node. Like it's great. It's revolutionary. It takes me to one of my favorite movies of all time, Moulin Rouge. It was the Bohemian Revolution in Paris, and their kind of frequencies they worked with was freedom, beauty, truth, and love. Like, if that's what we're coming back to, I'm okay with it. But I feel like it's kind of off what I spoke to last week, where it's nature, it's community, it's sovereignty, and yeah, freedom of self. It's family, it's love. And the Leo South Node, it's less about, oh God, what does everyone think of me? I just want to be liked by everyone. And it's more around practices that drop you into your heart. Because when you are in your heart, you are clear-minded, you are listening to your intuition, you are following the wisdom of your heart, and your heart will never, ever, ever lead you astray. And your heart might have different wisdom for you to access than my heart does. That's what's beautiful. And that's why I love, obviously, cacao so much, because it is the plant medicine of the heart. There is no other medicine. There is no other antidote that will drop you into your heart in a deeper way than cacao does. And I genuinely believe, especially when we have that South Node moving into Leo, we are going to see the people who are connected with their hearts and the people who are so disconnected. And there is going to be, and it's already happening, a mass pull for more and more people to step into their hearts and to live from their hearts. Because when you're in your heart, it doesn't mean fear doesn't exist, but it means that fear doesn't derail you. You can acknowledge the fear and you can say, hey, I see you, pull up a seat. Hey, fear, tell me, what are you afraid of? Yeah, that's justified. That's warranted. Okay, how can I make you feel a little more at ease? And your heart will know. Your heart will know how to make fear at ease. Hang on, let's all do this together right now. Okay, let's do this right now. If you're driving, don't close your eyes, obviously. Otherwise, take a couple of breaths with your eyes closed. Breathing deeply in through your mouth. No, don't breathe. No. Breathing deeply through your nose. Filling your chest, your lungs, your belly, and releasing an audible sigh on the exhale breath. Ah, I want you to make sound as you breathe out. Breathe deeply in through the nose. Letting go with an audible sigh. Ah, it doesn't matter if you sound like a weirdo. It's all good. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Oh, letting go. Big sigh out, maybe a stretch, a sway. And I just want you to come to a place of stillness. Let your breath drop into its natural rhythm. Place a hand on heart, hand on belly, or two hands on heart. And start to feel that gentle rhythmic beat of your heart. The part of your body, that organ that shows up for you without question. I want you to feel the earth beneath your feet. I want you to feel grounded here, supported. There is nowhere else you need to be than right here. Be with your heart. Feel that beautiful cosmic pull connecting your crown to the mysteries of the unseen. And you're anchored here into the earth and connected to the cosmos. And bringing your awareness back to the center of your chest, you as the bridge here, your heart as the very center of all centers. You as the conduit between heaven and earth, the bridge between spirit and matter. Your heart space is the center of the chakras. It's the bridge between the body and spirit. Your heart is not just an organ, but an energy center. So as you connect in deeper here, imagining that your breath is expanding this energy of the heart space. And that heart space isn't just your heart, your literal heart, but it wraps around your chest and your upper back. And it vibrates to the color of green. So maybe you can call in that color, feel it attached to your breath, activating and awakening your heart here. And then with each deep breath into your heart, you're feeling this energy center expand. And I want you to invite in gratitude in this space for your heart, for all the ways it loves, all the ways it's forgiven in its life, for the ways that it grieves because it means that you have loved. And if emotion arises, that's beautiful. That's a message from your heart. And I want you to take a moment here and ask your heart, what do you need? And listen. And that is the wisdom that lives in your heart. So can you make the commitment to yourself today to honor whatever it was your heart shared with you that it needs? And our heart doesn't speak in sentences. It's a word, it's a frequency, it's an energy, it's an image. So trusting that, honoring that, making that commitment to yourself to honor the need of your heart today as you start to deepen the breath in through the nose, sighing out through the mouth. And bringing some gentle movement into the body as you deepen the breath in through the nose. Audible exhale out. Shaking it off. Opening your eyes. Now that took a couple of minutes, my loves, and you all dropped into your heart. And in fact, I can feel the potency of that, and it was only me. So imagine the hundreds of you listening to this if we all did that every day for a couple of minutes, asking your heart, what do you need? And every day it's going to sound different. It might be a frequency like peace or hope. And so you ask yourself, okay, how can I give myself that today? How can I take a moment to carve out the space for that today? It might be a very specific action, in which case, are you going to honor or are you going to listen? Because this is what happens. We get so caught up in the busyness of life. And our life, the way that we live societally, majority of the time, we celebrate the mind. I've got the to-do list and the tabs open and the doing and the noise and the this and the that and the air signs will get it. The ruminating, the fixating, figuring it out. And this is where we can start to spiral in times of uncertainty because the mind is trying to figure it out. And when it can't, it gets anxious. But the heart, there's always this gentle, quiet whisper, and it always knows what we need in each and every moment. We're just not carving out the space to listen. This is why I love ceremony, because we are sitting deeply with our heart in a shamanic way. And that's when we call in all of the elemental forces. That's when things get really powerful. Now, that's not what this practice was. This practice was very simple. That was just you dropping into the wisdom in your heart. And I bet you guys heard some pretty special wisdom there, right? That's always there. We just don't prioritize the heart in this day and age. And look where that's gotten us. Things aren't working the way they used to, and that's not a bad thing. Societal constructs, patriarchy, the diminishing of mothers and women, and well, any community that isn't a white male, forgetting children. Stuff does need to change. Change is good. Like this is what we want. This is what we've also come for. But we need to find the anchors in our days and in our weeks to bring us back to the heart so that we don't get so heady that we lose ourselves and we lose our autonomy and we lose our power, because we actually do have a lot of power. We do. They don't want us to know that, though. They don't want us to remember that. They don't want us to wake up to that, because if we were to wake up to that, that's when the house of cards crumbles. It's already happening. I saw an article before I jumped on that, I don't know the technical term, but there is going to be a subsidy around fuel prices in Australia. I'm telling you, the only reason that's happening is because there was so much uproar, because community went, and I was reading the comments on the articles, and not one comment was like, this is a great idea in terms of fuel shortages. Like everyone was like, this is not okay. We do not stand for this. And because there was enough noise, changes have been made, and that will continue. It's like, it's genuine. I hate to be people power. No, I don't. I actually love to be people power. It's people power. We need more of us taking a stand in the ways that feel truest to us without us overriding our own nervous systems. But that can be a simple pushback to go, I'm not buying into this. I'm choosing to live differently. And I know most of you listening to this have already done that over the last few years. This is growing your vegetables. This is connecting with community. This is going to your farmers markets. This is using cash. This is scrolling, yes, to be aware, but not to a point where you are incapacitated by what you're consuming. This is creating art. This is infusing joy into your families, your children. This is taking care of your energy so that you are a solid beacon of hope and light in a world that needs us to be that right now. So let's get specific. What are the practices and the tools that I rely on every day, not just as an energetically sensitive being, but guys, this is my job. I'm a psychic. I literally have to make sure that I am a clean vessel for the wisdom that wants to land, so that I'm not taking on my clients that I'm reading for. And you guys have heard a reading now. By the way, I love how much you guys loved that. Belinda's reading. Wasn't it amazing? If you haven't, I highly recommend you going onto Belinda's page and listening to her recap reel, because so much has unfolded since we did that reading a few weeks ago. And I'll keep churning them out once a month. I also loved how many of you were like, oh my gosh, the guidance that was coming through for Belinda was coming through for me too. It was like you all got a collective reading. Anyway, when I'm reading for someone like you saw with Belinda, I'm in their energy. I have become their energy. It's like Ghost, Whoopi Goldberg, right? I'm in the energy. I can't. If I don't have pristine energetic hygiene, and it's happened in the past, I will get very sick. So this is like do or die for me, basically. I'm giving you all of my tips. So, and I know a lot of them are going to feel very simple and they're things I harp on about all the time. But if you've taken it with a grain of salt, quite literally in the past, I want you to just up the ante with these practices now. I guarantee these are the things that are going to serve you in the coming weeks and months. April's a doozy. April is a doozy. We have something like 7 planets moving into Aries in April. Oh my God. Aries, god of war. There's a lot happening in April. So let's get ahead of the curve. I mean, by one day. So Where do we start? We want to be in energetic sovereignty, calling your power back and calling your energy back at the end of every day before you go to sleep at night. I am literally going to quote you verbatim what I speak aloud as I lay in my bed at night before I go to sleep every night. And when I don't do it, it's when I have the shitty sleeps or the sleep interferences. So I say every night, but like your gal's human. But anytime I miss it, I'm like, fuck, I can tell. So this is what I say. And feel free to literally copy word for word or make it your own. I call in the highest vibrational frequencies of light and higher. All vibrational frequencies are welcome, so long as you are ready and willing to be transmuted into the highest vibrational frequencies of light and higher. And if you do not wish to transmute, you must leave now. Now pause. I do that before I go to sleep at night. I also do that every single time I'm setting up for ceremony or a one-on-one reading or any kind of client engagement. Every time I call in the light. And every time I demand the light to leave if it's not in the highest vibrational frequencies of love and light. Intention is everything, but you have to speak it. So that's what I do to start. And then I say, I call all of my energy back from the day gone by. And then I use a traditional term that's used in the lineage that I'm trained under, but you can just say, come back and your name, do it 3 times. Come back, Holly, as a party. Come back, Holly, as a party. Come back, Holly, as a party. Take a deep breath. Feel your energy land. Don't say my name. I mean, that'd be weird. Say your own name. Call all parts of your energy back from the day gone by. And I release any hooks, cords, binds, ties, any gossip, any projection, any energy that is not mine. I send it back to where it's come from in love and light. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Send it back. Call your energy back, send any other energy back. This is everything I've learned, by the way. This is not my own practice. I've made it my own with my own terminology, but I've learned this from my teacher, Gemma, Anchoring the Light on Instagram, and the lineage of the 7 rays that I've trained under. This is what these men and women are shaman. They work with the elements, with nature, with the earth. They know energy more than anyone else. This is what they do. If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. And it works. So you're calling in the highest vibrational frequencies of light. You're calling all of your energy back from the day gone by. You're repeating, come back, your name 3 times. You're releasing any energy that is not yours. And then it's up to you. What do you want to call in for your sleep? Do you want to call in deep rest? Do you want to put up boundaries? I'm not available for astral travel if you are someone who, you know, your soul goes walkabout in the night. Do you want to say, I'm protecting my entire home? I'm putting a protective bubble of light around my home, my family, my children, whatever. Imagining that light, protecting. You could call in gratitude for the day. Thank you for this thing that happened. Or I'm calling in a deep sleep. This is what I've been doing lately. I'm calling in a deep sleep without interference where I get the rest I need and I wake up feeling fresh in the morning. Like this is where you get to set intention. And then ruminate in gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is it. That took longer than it usually does because I was explaining it to you. It takes a couple of minutes every night before you go to sleep. Okay? Hand on heart. And this is what you can do when you wake up in the morning, hand on heart. How am I today and what do I need? And just listen before you wake up, before you open your eyes, before you grab your phone. We do not need that spike in cortisol. Our cortisol's already gone haywire. What do I need today? How can I honor myself today? Listen to your heart, like what we did in the beginning, that little medi. Drop in. Take some deep breaths. That's what I like to do before sleep as well, to down-regulate. A coherence breath. I write about that in Saying Yes to You. You breathe in for the same amount of time that you breathe out for without a pause. Breathe in for 6, breathe out for 6. Do a few cycles of that. The more the better. Drop in. It might be 5, it might be for 7. I always do that before sleep as well. And in any moment that I find myself quite cortisol-y, I'll be a little louder with my breath, a little more intentional with the breath. The breath reminds us, well, it down-regulates. So we're able to be in this more gentle rhythm. We're able to go with the flow of life, with the tides. This is why breath work is a thing, okay? So guaranteed without fail, that is what I am doing every day, okay? Salt water, I talk about it all the time. This is something I learned in mediumship and psychic school 10 years ago. This is what all of the mediums and psychics do, all of them. Like, think of holy water. Like, this is not new stuff. This is like, water is our chemical, fire is our chemical, working with the elements, absolutely, which is why we sit ceremony. Honestly, if by the end of this episode, every single one of you isn't in the heart space, I am going to have words. It's not me. It's not me trying to make money off you. It's literally, this is what we need right now. Am I making that clear? Anyway, water, salt water is a transmitter of energy. So electrolytes in your water. I use, I forget what they're called, but I'll link them in the Solies group. I also salt water in your bath if you have a bath, and this is great for your kids. Magnesium, Epsom salts also helps with sleep, but it's transmuting energy. Salt scrub in your shower if you don't have a bath. And this is why ocean swims are so therapeutic, because they cleanse our entire auric field. Salt water as often as possible. Even if you're having night terrors or your child's having night terrors, you can put salt water, a dish of salt water under their bed. That's going to transmute the energy. Make sure you empty it in the morning. Okay, salt water, salt water, salt water, salt water. I write about this in my second book. It's like, guys, this is actually what we need right now. Okay, so transmitter. Nourishment. A nourished and fueled body that is tended to and looked after is going to be less easy to derail. Yeah. And that's with dense energy. And that's also with just a nervous system that feels more solid than a nervous system that isn't. So your body really matters. And this is about taking care of your physical in whatever ways feel true to you. And this is why I always talk about my body in these episodes. So I talk about getting my bloods done. I'm constantly doing work with a naturopath, a homeopath, body work, body work, body work. Oh my God, I talk about Asha all the time, right? I couldn't not see Asha in the work that I do. I have to see her. It's part of my job. Like, I couldn't do what I do and be healthy and vital and shiny through it if I did not have a regular bodywork practice. Now, for you, might not have someone who's like a unicorn like Asha. I don't think she exists anywhere else other than up here, that combines like energy work with massage, with craniosacral, with just I had an exorcism yesterday, but it was exactly what I needed. Now, for you, bodywork might be chiropractic. For you, bodywork might be acupuncture. For you, bodywork might be a regular massage. But some form of physical work in the body to move energy through. Now, kinesiology, I wouldn't classify as bodywork. I'd say kinesiology is energy work. That's a different subsidy of what I'm about to talk to. So yes, kinesiology. Yes, homeopathy. Yes, getting on top of your physical health in whatever ways feel true to you, like the cleanse that I did. I'm about to do another one of those. I feel it's time. It's been about 6 months. And I want my physical body to feel as energized and vital as possible, because when we have vitality, we have life force energy, we're harder to co-opt, we're harder to infiltrate. Our bounce back is quicker when it comes to energy, dense energy, stress, cellular repair. See how this all really actually matters. So is it time for you to get your bloods tested? Is it time for you to see that naturopath you keep putting off, especially in Aries season where Aries governs the body? So for me, I'm actually sitting with Emily Yates tomorrow, going through my bloods, making sure I haven't missed anything, ordering the intestinal cleanse, which thank you if you bought in my sale, because that's literally where the money's going. That's how I'm paying myself this month, doing the gut cleanse, right? Everything I earn in my business, if it's not going to paying someone else, it's going back into my health or my energetic well-being, everything, all of my money, because I could not possibly do this work in the world if I didn't have a solid sound, especially as someone who's teetered on breaking point over the last few years. It's my priority. I couldn't do my readings. I couldn't be in my energetically sensitive body when I was so unwell. I had to stop doing my readings. I had to stop working. Like, this is how it can get if we're not taking care of ourselves physically and energetically. So energetic work can look at kinesiology. It could be Reiki. It could be healing, seeing a healer. This doesn't need to be regularly. I haven't done kinesiology in a while. I think the homeopathy for me is my energy work right now. Although something did come up in my body work with Asha that I will be working with a kinesiologist with in the coming weeks or months. So you need your team. You need your team of people who you can lean on. And that includes psychics, absolutely, because what I love about what I do is we offer people hope and clear direction. So when you come to me, as you heard in the session with Belinda, it's like you need to work on this and that's going to get you to here. And so then she can go out or you can go out and do those things, right? So yeah, pulling on your psychics, calling on your astrologers, like this is the time. It fills the gaps where we're craving hope and direction. So that's absolutely part of it. An altar, having an altar in your home, even if it's just your bedside table, and having every element represented on that altar, something that represents fire, like a candle, something that represents smoke or air, like your sacred smoke, something that represents water, like your saltwater dish or a shell, and something that represents the earth, like a clay mug or an amulet or a flower. Just having every element represented on your altar and going to that space when you are going to meditate, pray, sit cacao, be in your practice, pull cards, journal. That energy over time gets highly concentrated. And then this becomes your sacred space in your home where you can sit with your children, where you can drop into whatever it is, ask your guides, have a photo of your loved one's past on your altar. Your altar can, you've seen mine. I'll put a video in the Soulies chat if you want to see it. I can break it down for you. But it also instills that sense of beauty, which is a harmonizer. We know this. Have all the senses activated there. Something that smells beautiful, something that tastes beautiful. Bring your cacao to that space. I put my Loco Love on my altar. I genuinely do. I have an empty box there too because it's beautiful. It's like I'm a little bowerbird collecting all my pretty things. No, it's like she's an autistic girl, really. But this is going to create this sacred energy in your home where you feel safe. Yeah. Gratitude, daily gratitude, prayer. This is again why I love ceremony. Do you see how much ceremony just ticks everything off in one fell swoop? Plus it's heart medicine. Can't go wrong. So repeating what you're grateful for every day. We've started with my little girl. What's your favorite part of every day at the end of the day? Having that conversation with your family. Gratitude, you can be grateful for the most simple things, the beautiful warm sun on your skin, the butterfly you saw earlier in the day. If you can't think of something to be grateful for, look to nature because there's always something in nature. And on that, getting out in nature, barefoot on the grass, get your 5 minutes of morning sun as soon as you're awake before your screen, get out into the sun. Even if it's a cloudy day, this is about setting your circadian rhythm, right? This is going to help with hunger cues. This is going to help with your sleep at night. All of this stuff is such foundational best practice for you to live in the way that it's been intended for us to live since the dawn of mankind. We've just gotten swept up in the noise outside of ourselves. But if we can prioritize these things, if we are well hydrated, if we are seeing the sun, get that sun on your skin for 20 minutes a day. Take the sunnies off if you can. Like this is us getting back to basics and back to nature. And this is where you'll start to feel supported and held, even in times that feel chaotic and overwhelming. Because there's a lot we don't know, right? But this isn't about, and I'm talking to you, air signs, air moons. Trust me, I'm a double air moon, air rising. We try and figure things out. We ruminate, we pattern, track, we go, okay, this is where it's going. But there's a lot that we just don't know. And it's becoming okay with the unknown because you've got that gentle rhythm in your day because you know how to show up for yourself and for your family. Like that, let that be the priority over the coming days and weeks. There is so much more I do for my energy to protect myself, but these are the big ones that wanted to come through today. Obviously, there's also ones like less screen time, less scrolling, but I got to say, if you've curated a really beautiful algorithm, it can actually be quite healing And that's something that I've been really intentional this year, where you guys know my word for the year is whimsy. She's a whimsical girly. And so I've been consciously engaging with content, like liking, sharing, saving, tapping, commenting on content that makes me feel good. So when I jump into my algorithm on my search page, it's just beautiful images, which is so regulating for the nervous system. And then on my reels, it's really fucking funny things that's going to make me have a really good laugh. Because that's another thing we need right now is laughter, humor, joy, play. This is what the Leo South Node wants us to lean on. It doesn't have to be so serious. We can still find joy, art, play, laughter in these times. In fact, that's going to be a big healer for so many of us. So watching funny reels, it's like great. I like that over, rabbit holes right now, 100%. So just be deliberate and intentional with your consumption. That's something. Like, be wary when you feel your heart rate spike because you've been in the comment. This is me over the weekend. I was in the comments of something and I was like, whoa. I've been like, okay, why am I down here? This does not feel good. Catch yourself. You're human. It's okay. We are curious. We want information. I get it. But take a moment. Go and look in your child's eyes. Go and cuddle your pet. This is therapy that's available to us, like right in front of us. Now, I don't want to dismiss that that doesn't mean that things aren't going to be hard, because yes, there's potential for financial challenge right now for many of us, myself included. Like, absolutely. And I'm a luxury spend. It's one of the first spends that people drop in times of uncertainty. So it's not about devaluing the stress that we're in. It's more like preempting that we could likely feel some stresses. And so how are we taking care of the things we can to ensure that the stress doesn't completely burn us out and take us down? Because then we're easier to manipulate. My loves, I don't even know if this has been helpful. It's been kind of good. It's been kind of calming to talk it out. I feel like I've missed so much. So maybe next week I'll do an episode 2, or maybe in the What's the Vibe, I'll mention the things that I've forgotten, because I'm sure I'll sit on this over the next 24 hours and go, oh my gosh, I didn't even mention XYZ. I do think cultivating a stronger relationship with your intuition is going to be a game changer. So if you haven't done that, it's time. It is time. And I've got so many episodes on that. So just go and binge all of that. Go and read my books. It's all there. Oh, and I am going to leave it there because Survivor is about to start, and it makes me feel good. Survivor is my therapy. I think we all just need to find special interests. Yeah. Like, dive into your special interests. For me, it's Taylor Swift and Survivor. I actually started a list in my phone the other day of my favorite Taylor Swift songs ever. Do you guys want to hear them? It's very autistic, but I'm leaning all the way in, because I'm like, no, if like in my head, it's so Virgo. I'm like, what if people ask me my favorite Taylor Swift songs and then I forget some? And so it's a working list, guys. This isn't the you can't see it on the screen. This isn't the definitive list, but these all make the list for me. Are you ready? And in no order, no apparent order. Exile, You're on Your Own, Kid. Back to December. Oh my God, I can't with Back to December. I Wish You Would. The One, Safe and Sound. All Too Well. I mean, All Too Well is like, it's great. It's an obvious one, but it's like definitely not top of the list for me. Call It What You Want. Midnight Rain. Maroon. All You Had to Do Was Stay. I had a car accident to that song. It's not funny. Anyway, it's funny now. We can laugh. Red and Paper Rings. They're on my list so far. Tell me what I've forgotten. What would be your favorite Taylor Swift songs of all time? Wow, we've really covered some ground. I love you all so much. I'm just going to be back in your ears on Monday. Let's leave it there. I mean, on Wednesday. Okay, bye.